night. That means it's Loon Live. Welcome back. Hopefully you guys can check out some cool fly tying tonight. I don't know. I went on a poaching mission anyways. Mr. Logan requested a few patterns, and we actually had one tires request. So I'll give you guys the breakdown on that in a second here. Dennis, hello, welcome. So yeah, tonight we're tying a midge called the UPS midge, appropriately named due to the colors on the midge. And secondly, we are tying Mercer's tungsten bead caddis, or a swing caddis, I'm sorry. And last but not least, which we may actually tie first, I haven't figured out the order yet. Maybe we'll start with the midge. But we're going to be tying Mr. Shay Gunkel. Now, Shay's a good buddy. Probably one of the funniest hashtaggers in the world. The guy is in stiff competition. I mean, they're just going back and forth with Nick Davis over at 239 Flies. So, Luke, how's it going? Thanks, I appreciate it, man. Hopefully we get you guys some new tricks and tips. So, you know, all these flies are a little bit different school of thoughts, but hey, Matt, what's going on? But they're all great patterns for tailwater fisheries. I know Shay lives on a tailwater fishery. Mike Mercer and I both live on a pretty massive tailwater fishery. So we have a constant flow of cold water. We have great bug life. We have great trout growth, and so hopefully these patterns help you out in some of those types of situations. So I'm going to sneak up close, and let's start with the midge. We'll start easy and work our way up into the craziness. So I'm going to zoom on the vise and zoom, enhance. So there we go. Let's get a little bit closer, guys. Frankie, what's going on, man? Brandon, how's it going? All right. Let's see how close we can get. So this is tied in like an 18 to 22. I didn't want to make you guys strain. So I'm going to be a sissy, but I'm going to tie it in to 16. And that's okay. It's alright to be a sissy. First off, what's a gunkel? Hey, guy. Great comment there, Matt. Brandon, awesome. Guy, hello, hello. Matt asks, what kind of a vise? This is the Regal Revolution. I have it tilted up a little bit this evening for all these patterns. And if you hear rustling in the background, there's an unruly beast that will not leave my office. I don't know what's up with her. I know she's not hungry, but my dog will not leave my office today. Pretty sure she's after something. She's sniffing around. She's been known to eat large quantities of high-end feathers before. She's kind of a dirtbag. Joe, how's it going? Jordan? Need some new flies to tie. Perfect. So, I'm stringing on this little tiny bead. This stuff's small. As you guys know, I'm not the small fly guy, typically. So, first up, one of my favorite new hooks for with these small flies, it has an awesome gap to it, this is the Daiichi 1150 in a size 16. As you can tell, there's a pretty awesome amount of hook gap still. So, we're going to start this guy out. And I'm just going to do a few wraps, not the whole shank, and I'll show you why. This is a really simplistic pattern. It called for dental floss. And since I'm a filthy animal, I didn't have any oral bead specified dental floss. So I substituted in some iStub. And yeah, it's going to work out. Let's see if I can find the end of the darn... Can anybody help me find the end of this wire here? There we go. So what I do is I actually put this wire up into the bead as far as I can, and this is just, I'll show you guys, nothing special. It's just a size small, copper brown ultra wire. And you can use a yellow. I thought it'd look really cool with this tan color, but maybe I'll rock the tan. We'll see how it looks. You can use yellows, you can use black silver. There's any number of cool midge pattern colors that you can use. Sky's kind of the limit. Steve asks if we're getting any rain yet. You know, this quote-unquote parade of storms has got here, and it has been a very uneventful parade thus far. Not to say that it's going to stay that way. I looked at the Doppler, and I think my steelhead dreams for the next few weeks are well written off, no matter where I go on the West Coast at this point. But yeah, so we're starting to get some rain. It's not as crazy as they're forecasting 8 inches up here, so we'll see how it goes. Hey Steve, welcome. Brian, hello. Jared, I'm glad you made it. Gabe, welcome and hello. Jared, I'm glad you got a night off of work, man. That's good stuff. So what I do is I have both this cream and brown, and it's going to be a lot like a copper john, and these are quick to crank out. There's not a lot of not a ton of pizzazz to this one here, guys. It's a pretty basic pattern. So we're just going to create a nice body, nice and smooth, touching turns, as they might say across the pond if you were Davy McPhail. So this guy is pretty simplistic. Great pattern though. It's kind of like a brassy with a little twist. And I'm going to put what I do with my midges into this a little bit too. So it's not quite exactly their... Hey Steve. It's not exactly the pattern. So I'm going to use, I'll show you guys, a little ice dub. And this is a minnow belly. I kind of dig the blue-green hue to it. And I'm going to use this to build up the bump here at the front of the fly. And if you have a red hue, or if you have any ice dub that's white tan, that's alright. Thanks, Shay. I am really short. I'm just a short guy. Kind of just a short, round feller. Gary, welcome to your first live stream. I hope you find the information that I blabber on about somewhat useful. So once we dub that little gilly head body type, I'm really going to blow it on my anatomy of midges here. We're just going to go ahead and whip finish. And since I'm using a 50 denier GSP, I can really work that down in there well. And I'm going to go ahead and clean this guy up. Sean, good evening. The lighting on this is silly pants, huh? It's a little bit blown out this evening. Hopefully you guys gotta change the lighting. This is gonna grumpy me up. Whoa, disregard. Let's see if I can get this to focus in just a little better. I'm gonna change some of this lighting, see if I can't maneuver here. My production staff was here helping me. That would be amazing. So, a little bit bright. Maybe it's not as bright. No, it's not as bright on the screen. Okay. So, we're going to use my unicorn tears, which is also known as Fluorescing Flow. And the reason we're using the fluorescing is it's going to color correct, and that's going to be good. Hey Andy, welcome to the live stream. Brian, back online. Awesome. Lot of first time people. Very cool. So the Fluorescing Flow makes flies pop, corrects colors at depth, and it's going to be pretty cool. It's also going to bomb-proof your fly. Anything with the word, and this is going to penetrate completely through this ice dub, and you're basically going to create like a clack-a-craft drift boat, you know, if you will, or any composite drift boat out of this. Now I don't get too particular, but I do put it down the body as well. I think it adds a little bit of depth to the body. So just to give you an idea, you can see hopefully the difference between the fluorescing and just standard ice dub. So it's definitely adding a fluorescing agent to it and making it way brighter. And it looks crazy on the screen, so that's really cool. And obviously, as you guys can tell, the uni wire doesn't glow by itself. Oh, hey Lucas, welcome, and Aaron, ahoy. Welcome back, man. So yeah, enough of the little tiny micro guys here. Those are probably the hardest ones to see, especially on a live stream. But that's all right. So that's a great all winter long, every flavor. Make it like Baskin and Robbins if you have such a thing near you. 31 flavors of midges, and you'll be stoked. It'll be really good for you. It's a great winter pattern. So we got a request. So the cure times, Jordan, do vary. It's a great question. Jordan asks, how long does it take for the cure with the little UV light? Now there's two lights that are smaller than it, but Matt McCreary is really right. It's about 15 seconds. So, and this guy, the mega power lamp zaps stuff in far less time. Obviously, it's a really variable question based off batteries and technical information and stuff. Thank you, Lucas. I appreciate it. I think we're going to keep Shay in suspense. I like doing that. It's good. It's good. It's good fun. So in the vise now is, you guessed it, another Daiichi 1150. This one happens to be a size 10. Now, this is a cool pattern. Now, Mike Mercer developed this more than likely for the river that we live on, which is the lower Sac, but he designed it for swinging. And you can absolutely, let me back off here for a tenth of a second. I forgot the bead. But you can nymph this fly too. A lot of people see soft hackles and they don't throw them under an indicator rig. And if that's the style of fishing that you're doing, that real dead drift type presentation with a soft hackle, we pick up a lot of fish guiding that way. So don't fear the soft hackle. It's actually your friend. And I dead drift tons of soft hackles. Frankie, thanks, man. Yeah, it really just pops, and it fluoresces underneath just the sunlight as well. Obviously, our lamps are just concentrated wavelength of sunbeams, you know, just bringing magic down onto the world. So pissed. As long as I can get you riled up, Shay. He's probably texting me right now, commenting nasty things on my Instagram. That's all right. So Mike Mercer does this fly just a hair different, and I'll explain to you where he goes differently, which is pretty much right here. So Mike uses a white under thread, much like I'm doing, but instead of using the Vise body quill, he's going to be using like a midge tubing from Hairline. And he's changing the color of the caddis using that midge tubing, so he can go, you know, greens, bright greens, like that spring green Mother's Day caddis, olive caddis, orange, tans, cinnamons. Really, the sky's the limit. So this is a cool little product, and it adds a lot of dimension to the fly. And it's one I've been using on bodies a ton. And again, it's called Body Quill, but you can build really fine bodies with it. So what we're going to do, and I kind of go weird with it. I go back and forth and just build up these bodies so it lays really flat, and I can choose my progression. And I'm going to stabilize this instead of using wire or anything like that, but we'll use a little flow, and it'll work out pretty well. It gets in there, and again, I hate to use the analogy twice, but you know, it's like building a fiberglass drift boat, surfboard, race car, fighter plane, whatever your heart desires to build with fiberglass. So it's going to make an incredibly durable fly, and it really works out well. It kind of gives it a lot more depth. So instead of doing a ton of thread wrapping underneath to build your body and then pulling that midge tubing super tight, this is gonna fix that issue there. Okay. Yeah, Steve, that's a great question. I would definitely use it on a dry fly. It's light enough. You can alternate the colors and get some really cool, if you're into tying like the older Catskill style dry flies with the you know, using a peacock quill. You could absolutely use this. It's not going to weigh that fly down between your tailing fibers and a solid hackling job. Your fly is going to float just fine. You can even coat it with UV resin and it'll still float, from what I've found. This is actually made by Vise, Andy, and Embers and Gunk will continue. I love it. So yeah, Body Quill has been a great fun product to use and incorporate into a ton of different tying techniques. So I'll show you guys just again so you can see the Body Quill does not glow bright or anything like that. So a lot of times this swung caddis, and especially this one in general, is to, you know, kind of be like an emerger, if you will, or a caddis in the process of pupation. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to secure this whole body using Fluorescing Flow, and it really just comes to life and probably looks a lot better to me than it does on live stream, but it looks pretty decent. You know, it's looking good. So I'm just going to go ahead and take that 10-15 seconds and cure that up. So, on to the dubbing. So I have my dubbing built in here, and I can just pull some out, and I'll explain to you what I've done with this dubbing. So it's an olive dub, and I mixed it up pre-hand on my Blend Your Own kit from Hairline. And what it is it's actually an ice dub in tan, olive, and an olive brown actual hair. You can use straight ice dub if you want. I just like to pick a little bit of this out, but you can see it's just a really cool looking buggy mix there. So, you know, you can blend the dubbings however you like, and to make it your own, and it'll still work tremendously well. So what I'll do is I'll just dub a little tiny ball. We're going to butt that back up against the body here. We're going to bring in a CDC feather. That's a giant CDC feather. I want a smaller CDC feather. And you can vary this color. This one just happens to be brown. You can use naturals. If you're tying cinnamon caddis, you can find some cool cinnamon ones. Again, sky's the limit on color combinations. I would honestly say that you could probably tie this thing in hot pink and blue and swing it, or nymph it, and fish would still eat it. You know, that's a great question, Frankie. It's not a glowing. It's more of a color corrector, and it depends on what you're trying to do with the pattern. If you're trying to be really subtle with something, and I feel that since it's color correcting at depth, meaning that it's taking the available light, redistributing it so that it becomes more natural, kind of like you would see with a dive filter on a camera versus the guy who's doing amateur photography and doesn't have, say, like a red filter at depth, since colors get filtered out at different depths. I don't really feel like it does a ton of bad. I feel that it does good. Otherwise, when I was developing it, we probably wouldn't have brought it to market if I didn't think it was actually filling a niche, that was needed in the industry. And it's been around the world, and I haven't had anybody really complain. So, Jordan asks if the blending is hard to do. No, it's actually really easy. You can do it in your hands if you're just doing a small amount. I'll typically, do enough to fill up one of the bags from Hairline. So, especially if it's a fly that I'm going to be fishing quite a bit. And Lucas, to answer your question, I don't think there'll be a loon booth. I know there won't be a loon booth from any of us at the Sportsman Show in March. One of our reps may be there. I'm not sure but I have not heard anything about it quite yet. I don't talk to some of the other reps, I guess, as much. So what we'll do is we just dub a nice little ball, and you can cover it up over that bead, that's fine, it's not going to hurt anything. And then I just make a nice pathway down here to where I can put in the partridge hackle. Let's see. And one thing I do like to do is I like to attack this and really pick out some of those fibers, bring it to life just a little bit. So I don't know what any of you guys have planned for next weekend, but if you're in Albany, Oregon, or heading to Albany, Oregon, we will have a booth actually. And it's going to be myself and these two guys named Cheech and Curtis. And they run a little website called Fly Fish Food. We will also have a gentleman there by the name of Jeremiah, who is a Loon Ambassador, aka Jeremiah Super Spay on Instagram, and my buddy Tom, who's going to be throwing down some awesome flies at Ragnar Tom on Instagram. So I bought some flowers. Yeah, okay, yeah, so it's super similar to lights and salt tanks, absolutely. Great comparison there. Uh-oh, you guys are going fast. So yeah, it's going to be a fun 2 days of wild fly tying. We have the loon booth going, and there's going to be 5 of us in a 10 by 10 space cranking on flies. So what I did while I was blabbing and doing things is I just tied in a partridge feather by the tip, and this is going to be our front hackle. And now you can do this as a single side and strip some down, or do it as a double. Depends on the thickness of the hackle job that you want to have there. So once we get that in place, we'll secure it. And if you guys are curious what's coming up on Loon Live next week, our very own friend and lead heckler, Mr. Aaron, is getting one of his musky flies tied. He doesn't know it yet, but that's what's happening. Let's see. Copy, Bobby. Awesome. It was a pleasure meeting. I was like, whoa, bought some flowers. Okay, then. Oh, man. Hopefully you're enjoying the flow as much as I do. Oh. You guys are arranging fishing trips? I dig it. I'm feeling that right now. I'm about due for a fishing trip. Yeah, the Pleasanton show was rather fun, rather busy. It was really cool. We got to meet some good people. Got to see Mr. Scott Hunter, which is always a pleasure. A bunch of other people. It's always fun when you get to see the people that you know. So, what we have now is a very buggy looking little creature. And since I use white thread, as you guys know, I'm going to go ahead and color it brown. You can color it black too for a, actually I'm going to color it black because this caddis would be a little bit darker on the head. Aaron, are you excited? You told me to pick a fly off Instagram and I said I'd tie it, but you seem to have forgot that you've sent me flies. And I have them in my possession. Hey Max, how's it going? Do some carp bugs. I will throw a carp bug in the mix then. It'll be a muskie and carp throwdown. I have kind of a cool one to work on right now. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and get that to set off there. So that is the swing caddis, and these are commercially available still, so that's kind of cool. And yeah, so that's just an olive swing caddis. It's a great pattern. CDC moves, looks like a pupating caddis, and gross. So I'm going to drop that out. I think we should put this in the tank. We're going to put this in the tank later. I'm going to save this for the tank. Okay. So, oh man, Guy, I wish I had time to go fishing. I barely have time to stay up on my emails at this moment in life. We're getting ready for all of our release of products for next year, sampling and traveling for the spring. It's a little bit of a bummer right now. I want to go steelheading. Okay, we have a new hook, and it's not a Daiichi 1150. Sweet. It's a Daiichi 1130. So this is another one of my, this isn't the correct hook for Shay's fly, but it's the closest that I had available in my area. And so it's a cool, special wide gap hook, as you can see. Work, work, work. I know, right? Man, it's like I have a job or something. Darn jobs. Could be a lot worse. Where are you tying at, Matt? You and Aaron both have an event coming up, correct? I missed it when you guys were chatting. Let's see if I move my mouse. Okay. Okay. Got to see where I want to start this little beast. So I did change my thread. This is a thread body on this pattern here. And this is an 8/0 Vise in olive. And we're going to do a hot pink rib on it. Just kidding. Thought I had a bunch of uni already cut off. Oh well. It happens. River Falls, Wisconsin, guys. If you're in that area, go check out Ebbers and Mr. Aaron. They're tying up some nasty, nasty beasts. Okay, so for our tailing fibers, we're going to be using just a wee bit of some henback here. And I'm going to select off about 6 or 8 fibers. I happen to have one of his flies here. Let's see if we can count. There's at least 9. Oh man, I'm off. Okay, I'm going to grab 3 more to make an even 9. Shay has goosebumps. Oh, good heckling. Dig it. Okay. So we're going to bring those in nice and short, and I'm going to wrap up the body. A, this is going to help me build the abdomen. B, it's going to keep it nice and smooth, which is clutch. We're going to bring it about there because the bead actually moves back and moves into that spot. Uh-oh, am I in trouble already, Shay? Or are you just responding to Mr. Evers? I have the finished fly right here. I'm looking at it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a small brown uni wire, and I'm going to attach that in as we start to build the thorax on this guy. I'm going to go ahead and palmer this guy in. Could also use an extra small. Going with what I got here, guys. So you can mix these up. Shay ties these in wild, wild colors. Trusty nail clippers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lock the bead in kind of where I want it before I build up the thorax, just so I have something to work against here. And then we're going to add some flash in here. For a flash, we're just going to use a medium Flashaboo. This is the shot Glass Baetis. Sorry, Shay. And you can follow Shay on Instagram at ShayGunkle. Actually, I'd have to say, buddy, that these flies, I've been seeing them pretty much everywhere. They're Shay is a tire along with me for Umpqua, and this has been a popular one. I know it does well here. It's a great tailwater bug. Absolutely amazing tailwater fly. Oops, oops, oops. Shay said I was going to kill it, and I think I might be. Okay. So I fill a lot of this in with some of the loon here. What the heck? Shay, your pattern's busting my butt. Okay. So what I do is I'm going to pull this guy up over, the Flashaboo up and over once I advance my thread in. It's a little fickle here. You have to remember, I'm not the best nymph tire, just a fly guy. We'll bust this off. I might have to retie this guy. Just kidding. And Shay uses for his legs a DNA fiber, and it comes like this. This is an olive, and it's a really cool little fiber. What's up, Quill? Yeah, so the tailwaters are just, stuff behind dams is what I'm referring to as a tailwater. Most of them are flow controlled. I know we are, and predominantly most of them are, due to hydroelectric power. And that means that they're going to be a lot more temperature stable, at least out here in California. I can't speak to everywhere else in the country, but most of our dams now have thermal curtains to keep the fish cool during summer. So we actually get 51 to 58 degree temperatures year-round, even when it's 115 here, which is pretty darn good for happy trout. So we do a thread head, we build it up a little bit, coating over this. Yeah, the hands don't do... Dude, I even upped the size on this Shay to a 14, man. The meat hooks don't tie small flies too well. But that's alright. Work through it. So what I'll do is I'll pull these guys up, trim them out, and we're going to come in, and I'm going to stabilize it with some flow first, just to give myself a base to work off of. And it also will finish the fly for me. Soaks into those thread wraps. I might have a few extra legs on there than yours. Let me see. I have about, oh, dang it, I missed the legs by 3. Cardi cans. And I'm going to go ahead and coat. And we coat from the back of this fly. I'm going to use thin here, because I don't want a ton of build. I'm just going to let it build up a little bit, and I'll do it in a few coats. It's alright. I'm not trying to do the whole thing at once. Oh man. And then we're going to come over back with the thin again, and I'll finish coating into the wing case and over the top of the fly, and make a real big kind of a bubble there. Put the legs right where I want them. So you can see that fluorescing popping, and that's just that first base coat that we did. So I'm using the fluorescing like a base coat and a couple other ways. So what I'll do is I'll actually trim up these legs just a hair so they're a little bit more believable. I think I went with like 13 fibers. You had like 9. Oh, that looks ridiculous. So that's going to be the shot Glass Baetis, if you guys can see that well. Got a little wild with the flow. So a cool tip too is if you guys have something that you don't like, a double-edged razor blade will come in and save your life in any UV application. And then you can just touch it again and it'll perk right back up. So you can kind of replace and fix and do fun stuff if you need to. So yeah, bomb little fly, wide hook gap, and I'll show you guys Shay's just because it looks way better than mine. Tie it again. So here's Shay's variation, and you can see he's using a pretty short gap, or short hook with a wide gap. So pretty similar little pattern here. This hook's got a pointy little bend. How did it get that name? Shay, people want to know, how did you name your fly? I don't know if you can see it, but it's boring. No, every time I turn it, it's just coffee. Zoom in, let's see. It gets a little hectic when I zoom in. Whoa! Let's see if I can get it to... Maybe if I zoom the Vise in. So you can see Shay's pattern here. He has a brown body with a red tungsten bead. And that's a pretty cool version. Yeah, it's a really cool hook. It's got a really good gap to it, and it looks a little bit heavier than looks like a 1.5x wire, if that makes sense to anybody. But I'm gonna turn the tank on because I have the tank going, and I have things in the tank going. So yeah, what happened to Shay? Shay's mad. I didn't tie his fly perfectly. Shay, are you there? They would like to know. They would like to know what hook your fly is on, Mr. Shay. Yeah, it's a fish catcher. I've fished quite a few of them, and it does rather well. Let me find my 7X here. So we'll give you guys some sculpin action. Let's see if we can. Oh yeah. Why I rig up this Mercer's caddis here. Nice one. Just here to heckle Shay. A little angry. Shay, I don't know how much action your fly will have in the water, if any. I think I left that. I think I put this thing on like full bore. We need to tone her down a bit. Going into calm down the flow. My goodness. Okay. So what I think I'll do, I'll drop this little guy in here. See if we can't find him swimming. I'm going to pull that big nasty beastie out of there with the little tails, the fly skin sculpin tails, or fish fins, if you will. Alright, so I'll get the little swing caddis in there if you guys can see it. Let's see. Let me secure this thing. There's like zero resistance. And that's really bubbly. That's not the greatest. So you can see the swing caddis in there doing its thing. Try to knock the bubbles out. Oh yeah, actually knocking on bubbles works. Alright, cool. That looks clear to me already. Sorry guys, the tank's a little bubbly. I'm not sure why. So you can see the swing caddis in there as I rig up Shay's pattern. It's just a bomb fly. It gets down there, which is really important on these fisheries. So when I look for sculpins, so I'm kind of weird. I snorkel a lot of rivers. I'm pretty comfortable in the water, and I have a wetsuit and a mask and snorkel, and I just kind of jump in and check it out. One with bubbles in the tank evers. Well, my water comes from the mountains, but it just has to go through like 19 different little stations first. So you guys can see, I'm going to pull Mercer's swing caddis out for a second, and you can see like the shot glass just rolling around in there doing its thing, which is what a lot of our nymphs are doing under the water, which is kind of, you can see it's very helpless inside of a current. Even though it's a tungsten fly, it's just going to dance around in there and look really, really helpless. JB01, that was the interesting hook that I did not remember. I think it's just riding all over the place. There we go. So you can see, even with a mild current, even these tungsten beaded flies are just going to bob around and look really natural. So everybody who says they're a little bit hard to see. It's really just the, or hard to get down. It's really just the, oh, don't go closer. It's scary. You know, you're going to be able to, those flies are going to get down. They're still going to have a ton of movement. It's just going to help them get down in those situations. So, sorry for scaring you guys with my face. It happens. So yeah, so those are the flies that we had for tonight. Pretty fun, interesting patterns that work really, really well. A fish chase pattern for quite a while already, since it appeared in my local fly bin. Flint, Michigan water. Ouch. It's not that bad. It's brand new. It's just clear. It's just bubbly. I need like a plunger to go through the tube and make it not bubbly. I'll let it sit for like a few days. It'll be good. So. Well, anyways, guys, let's see. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the patterns this evening. Hopefully you guys can take something away from it, learn something. But yeah, in all reality, probably one of the funnest things in the world, and I mentioned it when we were talking about looking for sculpins, is, yeah, Jordan, you could actually definitely fish it as a dropper. Let's see. Let's see what... Jared's devoted longer for this improv. Thanks, Jared. Yeah, partridge is one of my favorite feathers. It's mottled, it's cool, and if you're looking at buying some, I recommend buying the whole skin. It's a little bit more of an investment, but if you're tying a lot of nymphs, the whole hide is absolutely, utilizable. Thanks, Rich. I appreciate it. San Diego water. Yeah, it'd be a little bit harder. A lot more minerals by the time it gets down there. Thanks, Chris. Thank you, Andy. I appreciate it. Yeah, man, they should kill it in Utah. Absolutely. Anywhere there's a caddis hatch, nymph the soft hackle, swing the soft hackle, fish shades fly, or go buy it if you don't tie it. It's a great pattern. Absolutely. So. I know, I need to go fish. Thank you. Sold. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it. But anyways, I greatly appreciate you guys all tuning in, checking out what we have going on. I appreciate heckling. Opening day is coming soon. If you live in California, end of April, or if you're lucky enough to live where I do, there is no closing of the lower sack. But... Luke, thank you. I appreciate it. And if you guys are up in the Portland area or, within a few hours of there, the Northwest Fly Fishing Show in Albany, Oregon is amazing. I think there's over 200 featured fly tyers over 2 days. And Cheech and Curtis, myself, Tom, and Jeremiah are going to be all tying completely different stuff. If you guys ever come by a booth and you want to play with any of our products, man, you could try to make it catch fire for all I care, Come play with it, learn about it, everything like that. April 2nd in Pennsylvania. Got it. Hey, Jason. Nice to see you here. Take a week off and go fish. Well, cool, guys. Anyways, I'm going to tune out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Cheers.